So I'm going to go ahead and hit record.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay. And it says I'm being recorded, so it must be true. Hi, everybody. I'm glad that you have come into our second webinar for the year related to FCS and FCCLA. I do have an update for both for you today. And so I want to just go right ahead and go to the agenda so you know what we're talking about. I'm developing a master calendar of dates for FCS and FCCLA, and that's ever evolving. And I'm also in the middle of creating a Google file that will have the calendar and other things a little bit organized, kind of like a live binder, if you're familiar with how that works. It's you go to the site, and then there's tabs and categories, and so you can find things. I'm hoping that a lot of individuals can use this. We could have a tab for our professional organizations if they want to put things there. So it's kind of like a one-stop shop for everything that has to do with FCS and FCCLA advisor. Not so much the boards and that sort of thing, but the more public items that we want to find. I'm going to talk somewhat about Perkin allowances and FCS today, including the role of professional memberships and how that plays into Perkins, and talking about what it does and does not cover. I have some program of study resources. Pittsburgh State University has a syllabus course outline lesson plan option that's found in southeastern Kansas, but it is open for everyone. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And then we have a special speaker, Mary Ellen, and she'll walk us through the Department of Labor, some career resources called Career Lab, which are awesome. And we'll talk more about that and with her later on. As far as the FCCLA update, I have by blank, and that will be me. I wasn't sure who might be able to be with us today, and so I'll share that. And then there's also some save the date things to consider, and I see it's probably scrolled off the screen, but we have quickly 2 events happening this week, which already have registrations. If you want to come last minute, that's perfectly fine too. Miles City is tomorrow, which is our face-to-face fall FCS, FCCLA update, but it's going to be more about FCS and our framework in the state. And then Friday, the 30th, we'll repeat it in Helena. And so the work that we do in those 2 different locations, I'll actually combine, and then I'll share with you what we develop. So we can all work together and benefit from everyone's great experiences and vision for the state of Montana Family and Consumer Sciences. So first I wanted to share with you, I really want this webinar to be built based on what your needs are. So as we go along, if you think of something that you'd like to be addressed in the next webinar or in a future webinar, please add that to the chat or send me an email that says, hey, Gayla, I'd really like you to talk more about XYZ. And it doesn't necessarily have to be family and consumer science content related. It could be process, it could be an OPI report, it could be whatever you feel like that you'd like me to add to the webinars. And I am recording it, and this Google site that I'm working on building, we'll archive these, so then we can go back and also be able to review those. So please add. I do want to share with you the next webinar, which is the end of October. It's going to focus on apparel and textiles and the research proving it's a high need field of study and how Montana can be a part of that. So you will not want to miss that. I have found a woman who actually is the University in Nebraska. She's done a lot of research nationally, but also how the states have a part to play in this work. And there's a new act called the Fabric Act that's back in DC, and we'll talk more about it in October. I actually have a phone call string going on with someone that is on the committee back in DC to learn about that act and what that might mean for states. But it's trying to reshore a lot of jobs that we have lost in the past. They're manufacturing, but they're not like a traditional manufacturing. They're coming back in a new version. And we also have a group in Montana that's trying to get some fiber manufacturing in Montana. And also I'll talk all about that in October. So please tune in for October. I think you'll really find that interesting.
What date is that?
The 26th, I believe. It's on my calendar. So let me go to that. I know I'm going to go through very quickly here, but as soon as this is finished today and the archive from the cloud on the recording is available, I'll send this out to all of you so you can download and have this to refer to. But again, we have the 2 events in September and October. There's some new professional events. If you are not signed up for that, or you know someone who's a new family consumer science professional, have them email me. So they might have missed the first of the 3 sessions, but that doesn't mean they can't do the other 2. It is free, and I can send them more information if you find those individuals in the field didn't know about it. The fall ACTE Montana conference is in Billings, the 20th and 21st. I know information has went out to schools, but again, I can send that to you directly as well, and you'll see the live link, or excuse me, the link here. And then our next webinar is on the 26th of October, always starting at 3:30 with a question and answer, or just open conversation for 15 minutes, and then ending 3:45 to 4:30 with content. November is the National Leadership Conference in Columbus, Ohio. There are in the 14th through the 18th regional fall leadership kickoff meetings. And it says to be determined, but I have some of those dates that I have in the FCCLA update portion. So you want to check those out. In December, please note that December 3rd is Ellen Swallow Richard's birthday. The one of the main leaders in our field. And there's a link there to AAFCS, our American Association of Family Consumer Sciences, that has some great things you could do in the classroom, things you could do with your family, and there's some awards and recognitions to go with that as well. November 7th is going to be our fall webinar, our last fall webinar. It's actually November and December. I'm putting them together because we all know how crazy it gets that time of year. So we won't have one in November, but we will have one that first full week of December, and that will be the 2 months together. January 16th is Martin Luther King Day. Our Montana Family Consumer Science has a day of service plan. There's more information in that particular link, looking under community outreach. And there'll be a lot more being added to that website as we go along. Our January focus on Family Consumer Science FCS webinar is January 25th. February, National FCCLA Week, and there's a link to more information about what you might want to do there. Our webinar in February is the 22nd. March 16th to the 17th, there's our state FCCLA conference in Bozeman. Our webinar in March is March 29th. April is when I want to have a spring version of what's happening the end of this week. And right now, I'm working with the AAFCS Montana affiliate that is in Whitefish, and try to do the western part, or excuse me, eastern part of the state the week before. It's tentative on the 14th. And the spring event in the western part of the state would be a pre-conference as part of the Montana AAFCS conference. So that starts the 19th through the 21st, but later in the afternoon. And so earlier that day of the 19th, I'll do the same thing I did in Moss City, but in Whitefish, for those of you that live on the western part of the state. Now, that doesn't mean you can't go to each other's, but I just want to let you know how that's going to work. And then our April webinar will be the 26th. And our May webinar will be the 25th, and then that will be it for the summer, and we'll start again in August. I did put some June dates. Some of those are tentative, but please note that. Our summer FCS Institute, this last year, our focus was more kind of methodology and philosophy behind family consumer sciences. Next summer, it's going to have a really strong fashion apparel connection. There is an industry immersion in New York City, happens to be that same week, and I'm working with one of the providers of that in New York City to see if we might be able to live stream in on some of their professional introductions or interviews, some people who are working in the industry. So that would be kind of interesting as well. And it's going to kind of build off what we cover in October. And then our AAFCS annual conference is the end of June in Baltimore. And our national FCCLA conference is in July, which is the 2nd through the 6th. So I think it's going to be very helpful to have something like this with the links where you can go to it. And as I find out more dates about different things, I'll just continue to add those to the calendar. Perkins, I have had a lot of questions from the field who've asked me, can you share more about Perkins? Kind of a one-on-one or 101. So I'm going to this is going to be very brief, just a couple slides to begin with, and we can always build on this. So again, send me information if you'd like to have a deeper dive. In general, Carl Perkins we call it Perkins 5, is a federal grant. It gives states funding to support secondary and post-secondary CTE programs. Under the law, Section 35, it mentions what you can use funds to purchase or to support in the states. And then the states ask the schools or the districts, if you will, to apply for this in what we call e-grants, because it's a grant, but it's an online application. So it's an e-grant. The allowances are on the left. Now, remember, this is a 101. So this is just very basic things, but I think it's helpful when you have someone say, what do you want to buy with your Perkins 5 money? You're like, I don't know, what can I get for it? So this is a slide you can refer to. You are allowed to buy supplies if they individually cost under $4,999. It's called supplies. So this is small equipment. Small equipment is anything that costs less than $5,000, but they don't call it equipment. They only call it supplies. If it's anything that costs over $5,000, it's called equipment, and it's for upgrades. It's not for original purchase. It's not to replace something that's equal. It's to be an upgrade. That's what Perkins is for, is improvement. Professional development. So for you to attend AAFCS or for you to attend the Montana AAFCS conference in the spring or the ACTE conference in the fall, those can all be covered by Perkins money. It has to be put in the e-grant by your school and is approved, and then the money's there for you to spend. So it doesn't have to come out of your budget. It doesn't have to come out of your general fund locally, but it has to be in the e-grant. If they don't put it in to begin with, they can do what's called an amendment, and they can move money around and put it in to professional development if they want to. It does cover CTSO expenses for you. It can cover CTSO expenses for your students. Any improvement to your facility, if you need to do some special installation of certain equipment that's aligned with industry, like in culinary, that can be covered. And then it can also cover resource purchases, technology, purchasing for your classroom. But again, it's not to equal, it's to improve if you've already had, or if you don't have it at all, if it's a way to improve the instruction for your students, then all you have to do is justify how you're going to use it, and that's it. What's not allowable basically is consumables, anything that's used up. So you cannot ask for food, you cannot ask for like ink or paper for a printer, because that's used up and then it's gone, and that's set by the Perkins federal legislation. So most of this here is like, if it's a consumable, no. If you're just replacing something, like you have a stove that went out and you want to get another stove, the same type of stove that's the same, then Perkins is supposed to be improvement. So you need to improve the stove, like maybe replace it with a convection oven option. So that shows the improvement if you want to use Perkins money. Now you have other money, local money and state money you can use. But if you want to use Perkins. But what I do think is interesting is section 105B5L, and it says that you can purchase, this is the only CTE area that's mentioned by name in the federal legislation, and it says family consumer sciences and employability skills, which means even if you don't have a pathway per se, you could still request Perkins if you're purchasing things to support teaching employability skills. So I wanted to make sure that you knew that, and we can talk more about that later, looking at my time. Professional affiliations, I just want to point out we have two the Montana Association of Career and Technical Education. And I have some links to how, if you want to be a member, what does that mean? And also what it does for you, how it supports you. And then the American Association of Family and Consumer Sciences. And that first page, I went by it pretty quick, but I had someone say being a member of a professional development is like paying rent to have a space in the organization. So all of these do different things and support our field and support career and technical education in general. So again, it can be covered with your Perkins money. And it does allow you to get journal articles. It allows you to be in national conversations and state conversations. So I do want to encourage you to consider that. Our pathways, very quickly, this is what they look like. The yellow are the new codes. These are available online. And the reason I have human services pulled up is we're going to do some work on this in the meetings the next 2 days and also in the spring. If I was a small school and I want to introduce a lot of careers to my students and also cover what's called life literacy or our instruction that helps them just be quality human beings, human services is a way that you could do it if you only had one pathway. So I just want to share some strategies with you to consider what that might look like. Doesn't mean you have to change anything you're teaching. It just is a different way of framing it. So I'm just going to go through that. And those are where the codes, and that's the name of the class. So looking at resources, FCCLA has a lot of resources that have all kinds of units and lessons and activities in their national programs. So do consider that. You can purchase these with your Carl Perkins money. They are aligned directly into your classroom already, aligned with the national standards. Note that the Families First is being updated in 2023, and I'm very excited, and I can't hardly even wait for that because I've seen a list of the professionals across the nation that are helping them write that, and it's going to be phenomenal. Very current and relevant and up to date, and very much highly engaging for your students. So pretty excited. Under lead on the FCS webpage, or excuse me, FCCLA webpage, you'll find lesson plans and resources. And so these are available via anyone. You don't have to be affiliated yet. And there is a link at the bottom of the page that goes to additional lesson plans, but you have to actually be an advisor, go into the advisor portal to be able to access those. And I was told, I don't know if anyone here has been in that resource to know how many lesson plans are in there, but I've heard that there's a lot, and that's very good. So I just wanted to share that. You go to the portal, that's how you sign up. Realize that under lead on the top bar menu, there's a section that says upcoming webinars. And there happens to be one on the portal tomorrow night. It's on Mountain Time, 5 to 6 p.m. But I did ask Nationals and they said that's going to be archived. And then they'll share it with us. So anybody who's a new advisor or someone who wants to really know how to move around in that advisor portal, I'll share that link with you if you can't watch that. And then that's just some information about what they're going to talk about. If you also go under the advisor tab, as you'll see where I have the note, it'll send you to this particular page. And there's actually a link right there. That's the affiliation. So if you're wanting to know how do I affiliate, go to the advisor webpage, click on advisors. This particular page will show up, and then you just scroll down and you see affiliation step by step. And I guess it will walk you through how to affiliate. I had some questions that said, we want to start an FCCLA chapter, but we're not sure how to affiliate. So that's where you can find that. Now, this resource page I've shared with a number of people in the field. You may or may not be any of those, but the Kansas Center for Career and Technical Education received a huge grant, like multi-million dollars, to create a resource for CTE teachers to utilize in their classroom. There's a whole section on FCS. There's syllabuses that you can link, you can download. You do have to be registered to access all the documents, but it doesn't cost anything. And there are a number of courses that have the 5-digit code that may align to our codes on our planning sheets, or the titles might be the same. So you could download and be looking at it, and it will offer some guidance for you. Oops. So this is what it looks like when you first go to the Kansas Center for Career and Technical Education. And you'll click on educators, and then you'll be able to see resources as a link. And when you open that up, here's all the resources. And you can filter by family consumer sciences, by culinary, by child or children, by families, however you want to do that. And then it will click, if you do that, then you'll be able to find what it looks like. And here's just one example. Human growth and development. This shares with you what the units are, what the content is, how many lessons there are. It includes everything. It includes assessments. It includes PowerPoints. It includes quizzes, activities for the students, also with the answer key, all for free. So it might really be a place that you could start. I'm not suggesting that this is I'm going to teach this for this class in my school. I'm not suggesting that, but it is a way to start to look to see what might be something I could utilize in my classroom in order to meet my need for finding out what exactly I should teach. Or it could be an outline that you can build on. You can take things out, you can put things in. I'm saying that this human growth and development class could potentially be aligned with our course that's coded 19261. But again, if you download and look at it, you can tell if it might line up to a course that you're teaching. And I know there's a number of our teachers, probably at least 6 or 7, who asked me, I just need some help. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to teach in this new class. And I sent them to this site because it's free. I know Megan O'Boyle, and she's phenomenal. And so I know that they're vetted, everything's vetted before it gets on the website. So I'm going to recommend everything. And you don't have to stick with FCS. If you find that there's something someone else has done in another field, like food science, you might find under agriculture, still doesn't mean you can't utilize it as a basis, as a reference. Mary Ellen, I'm going to come back to you just real briefly. Give me 2 minutes and we'll be back, and then you'll have the rest of our time together, which will be a little longer than what I had shared that you would be able to do.
No, that's okay. I just want you to, can you hear me?
Yeah.
My internet keeps going in and out, so.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So just in case, I don't know what's happening, so.
Okay, well, we'll be back with you in about 2 minutes. So I want to do the FCCLA
Yeah,
update.
just whatever.
Okay, I want to do the FCCLA update, and that way Mary Ellen can have the rest of our time. Recall that our state outreach project is called Incredible You, and it's focusing on mental health and the student body national program. And there's some great things that our state officers are working on. You can go to the website, mtfccla.org, and look for more on the state outreach project. But they have some really cool stuff that they're planning. The 2022-23 STAR Events Manual is posted under the FCCLA Advisor Portal, and it's open now. It's available now for those of you that like STAR events and you want to have your students get started. There are a number of events that had updates. I don't have a list of those yet, but if you ever have done STAR events, you should note that every year there are updates, and to utilize the newest rules and regs and guidance than you had before. So it's not so much throwing it all out, but it might be if they've had a lot of updates. There is a webinar on October 27th at 7 p.m. Eastern. So that'd be 5 p.m. Mountain. And it's called Coaching STAR Events. And it's basically for you as an advisor on how you can support your students doing STAR events. And this also could mean that you could utilize what you learn as STAR events being part of your class as a final assessment for a unit or as a whole class, because it's authentic, it's application, it's showing it's demonstrating to you their knowledge as well as their skill in the information. So it could have 2 benefits for you to watch that. You do have to register. I found this actually under the upcoming webinars on the web page that I talked about earlier today, but it's also linked here directly. Membership packages. recall that if you are joining your membership via the packages, you get a lot of extra benefits, including being able to use Perkins to pay for them. But you as an advisor get some things like the free registration for the Advisor Academy training, which I heard is excellent. There's also some additional package benefits, and that is explained here with the link. And then the district officer materials that I was asked to share, if you have district officers or students that want to run, members that want to run for district, those materials are being developed and are hoping to be out by the end of this week. But they're being developed and they'll be out shortly. So watch for those. Here's the dates and the districts of the kickoff meetings that are replacing the fall leadership rally. If you recall, since we didn't have a director, we didn't feel like there was a way we could pull that off. So we're providing some funding and some guidance to the different districts in order to offer something more locally. So more students could potentially attend, because you could just drive over and drive home rather than have the overnight if we had only one in the state. So you can see this. There's 2 in October, District 4 in Billings, and District 10 also in Billings. District 4 is on the 12th of October and District 10 is on the 18th. The others are meeting in November. You can see the locations except for District 2, 6, 7, and 11. They are apparently going to go together the way I understand it, but they're still trying to find a location. So the location is going to determine what that particular date's going to be. So anyway, I wanted to share those with you. And I got these later, so I wasn't able to get them on the other calendar, but I'll be adding these on the other calendar too. Okay, so close your eyes if you get car sick, because I'm going backwards. Now it's Mary Ellen, and we have, according to my watch, about 20 minutes, Mary Ellen. I'm so excited for her to share with you some of the things that she has for us to utilize in our classrooms. So if you notice on this slide at the very top, there is a link to the Department of Labor in Montana. And this is what the website looks like. And I don't want to steal any of her thunder. So Mary Ellen, if you are on, this is time for you to start talking and then telling me what you want me to go to. Let me go to the next slide. I was going to focus on educators, which is what you're going to talk about, I believe, somewhat today too.
Yeah, let's go to the education tab.
Okay, so I'm going to stop
sharing.
That, or I'm going to stop sharing.
Do you want me to share?
Well, what I'm going to do, if you all don't mind, if while you give a little bit of an introduction, I have it open, the site open, and I'll start sharing that because my PowerPoint is stagnant. I didn't have the live link. So let me share this, but go ahead and introduce yourself while I get it up and running.
Sorry, guys, I keep going in and out. Can you hear me?
Do you all see?
Okay.
Hold on a minute. I hit the wrong screen, I think. But you go ahead and introduce yourself, Mary Ellen, while I'm giving
Okay. So I'm in charge of the Career Lab. And so what we have is K through 12 career information. Our biggest thing is the MCIS, Montana Career Information System, which we just updated. But I want to show you, we had educators help us with younger students, and Gail was on a committee along with myself, a superintendent, special education, and it's not on our site now, but we're looking at it, and we're trying to, we did a K through 12 career plan because career development should start on the younger ages. As you guys know with your FCCLA. Before I even begin, first of all, I want to tell you that I think your association is outstanding. I think the career information is amazing. And I think more people need to know about what you're doing because our students need career development incorporated into the curriculum like you're doing. So a very special thanks. Okay, when you click on the educator part, go ahead and click on educators.
Okay. Do you see a screen change, everybody? Do you see the website?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, it's all yours.
Can you? Okay, can you click on educators?
Yeah, I did.
Mine didn't change. Okay, so in here in this, it's kind of tiny, but that's all right. Yeah, if you could make it a little bit bigger.
Okay.
Let me see if I can get rid of this right here. Right there above, right under educators, above the videos is a blue sign that says publications. Can you see that? Order publications.
Yeah, you want me to
Go
click on
up.
that?
Yeah, well, you don't
Okay.
have to click, but if you
Oh.
want to order
mean-
some of these, this is where you would get your publications. We don't have all of them, but we do have some of them. No, that's the wrong page. I don't know where that took you there. That's if your school. So I'll have to talk to Donetta, but that's where you would go to order your publications.
Okay.
Well, that is the right page. I'm sorry. The publications are down there. Yeah, it is down there.
Okay.
For example, one of the activities, go ahead and scroll down.
Okay,
that you
I'm
can
in grades.
Yep,
I'm in
grade
grade
school.
Yeah.
Yes, and if you take a look at it, maybe your high school students want to work with the grade school students on some of these, but this career build a community, that's lesson plans for the students. Both of those go together where they could build puppets, or there's lesson plans where they work with the community and bring community into there. It's where the students are learning about their community. And so that's, there's some excellent exercises there. And then that Jacob and Emily, it's more for 3rd and 5th graders.
Here we go. It just opened.
Oh, okay.
Community
I mean,
help minutes.
Yeah. That's an exercise there where they build puppets and stuff like that in their community. They could build a whole community with some of these resources. But if you go to the other one with a picture of the brick building in the back, school building, get out of this, yeah.
Let me go backwards and oops.
Yeah.
I think I lost, hold on a minute. I think I lost the page. There we go.
So
This one over here. Lesson plan.
no, yeah, that one right there, career build a community. Yep. So there's where you'll have the lesson plans. You have to upload it now there.
Yeah.
So there's different careers, and then it tells you, gives you lesson plans and how you can bring people into your community. It's okay. It's, yeah, keep scrolling up. Notice that we have Bullock on there. We're gonna have to change that.
Yeah. But
So
notice everyone, like there's childcare worker, there's chef, there's a number in here that fall into family consumer sciences. You could say artist also, if you link that with your fashion and your apparel areas. There's just a lot of opportunity to show how family consumer sciences, there's a grocer. It's very cool. Anyway, go ahead.
And then there's activities that go with them. So you don't have to do the lesson plans.
Okay, want me to go back to the other page now?
Yep.
Okay, there we go.
I'm still on the other one. Just go ahead back to the main page.
Yeah, I'm under
Okay,
grade school
yeah.
resources.
Yep. Yeah, well, I'll just kind of tell them a little bit about it. You don't have to open it up here yet.
Okay.
But then Jacob and Emily, that's for 3rd and 5th graders. It's these two twins skip school on their birthday. Their dad lets them skip school. And then they get to introduce and meet people. And it's kind of fun. They're all excited about missing school. One of them, the girl is really wild and the boy is really straight. And but they really enjoy getting. It's a personal approach to, like a veterinarian. They just talk about who that person is and how they get to know them. And I like the way they did it. It's really well done. Career Peaks, you can order these activity books, and it's just ABC, kind of like coloring book and some activities that you could do in there too. So that's kind of good. And then the Career Heroes, it also has trading cards, but it has different careers and their salaries. And it's interesting, so students could line up as to what they could make even without a degree. And so with activities in there are pretty good because it talks about the people in those careers. But the trading cards, I use it and I give it to the parents actually, and I have them line up according to their salaries. And then we talk about what sort of educational they need for those careers. So there's a lot of things you could do with those cards too. A lot of the stuff you can order online, a lot of stuff you can just copy. Now, if you scroll down, we have just gotten some new framework books because we have the new MCIS. So I would skip those. I do like what to pack. It's a little old, but I would like to update it. This Montana Career Guide, that one's a good one. And it's got Holland's theory in it. Montana Career Guide is very interesting because it has tips on disabilities, tips on criminal impaired, how to do resume. It's kind of the whole component with career development. We do need to upgrade it because we have the MCIS 360 on there, but I find it one of the best books. And a lot of people like the soft skills and the resume pocket book. And then these particular curriculum things below, they're being updated too now with the 360. We do have the old ones on there, so you could click on them. So now I'm going to ask you to go back up again.
Okay, just a second. The career guide I clicked on to open because I think some of our teachers might really like to see that what this looks like. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I'm going to go to the agenda, whatever, the thing that says what's on what pages. Here we go. The contents. It's been a long day. So you can kind of see what's on here. So this could actually be maybe a classroom textbook, if you will, that the students could utilize and complete the checklists and things. Wouldn't they be able to do that, Mary Ellen?
They would be able to do that. And just to know that these MCIS is still on there. The old one is still on there. The new one is on there, and I'll show you that. Yes, you could do that. You can use this
Yeah,
all
very
the
cool.
way through.
Okay. And so let
the
me go back.
gentleman that did.
And that's called the Montana Career Guide. It's the first one on the left under high school and adult resources, which hopefully you're able to see on our page that's being displayed. Okay. Where do you want me to go now?
Now I want you to go up to the top, all the way up to the top, please.
Okay, I'm just going to go pretty slow because sometimes it can be kind of dizzying. Okay. I'm there. Does everybody see it?
Going up. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Now I want you to go back, get out of educators.
Oh, okay.
And I want you to click on the arrow. Yep. And then I'm going to show you the new MCIS. Go click on the arrow up there up on the top to go back. Okay. Then you see this MCIS resource right here with a computer.
Oh, right here.
MCIS. Nope, below. MCI resources, daily activities and learning games.
Let's see.
No, it's underneath the educators. It's underneath the educators.
Okay. Oh, okay. MCIS resources. Okay, so it's under the students, parents, educators, job seekers. It's the next grouping down and it's clear on the left. That's the one you're looking at. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Did you click on it?
Okay.
Yes, please.
Okay.
By the way, and then every day we kind of try to put daily activities up there, and then there's like 6 video games for children. So with the new MCIS, we have had webinars and we put them on here. So these are all the webinars so that you can learn how to use the new MCIS 360. And if you would like to get on, just contact me and I'll do that. I'll go ahead and scroll down. So these are all the new 360 MCIS. And then these publications right here, these are the new ones. And these are worksheets on career. So go ahead and stop. One of the, there's a high school framework and a junior high framework, and it goes by each grade and it tells what activities should be done with each grade. And then in the MCIS, you have career worksheets, and they're right here, right here. I like the junior high worksheets too for the high school, just so that you might want to take a look at both of these. So, and then if you scroll down a little bit more,
What am I looking for? Up
well,
training?
the MCIS Academy training videos.
Okay, here we go.
This basically trains the teachers how to upload portfolios and create portfolios for their students. So that's more or less the administrative side.
Okay.
So let's go to the MCIS now, go all the way up to the top.
And there is a video that says Introduction to MCIS 360. Can you share, what does MCIS stand for and why is 360 listed?
Sure. So if you go up, I'll show you when we get to the page all the way. You're going to have to, I guess, do the back arrow.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And you have to wait. You have it, let's see, maybe one more time, I guess. Back arrow one more time. Because we want to go to the front page. Okay, scroll up.
Okay.
Now, she is on the high school training site right here. So it's HS training _admin, and then it's capital HS, capital H and everything else, the small letters, training #1. Okay, so go to the login.
Okay. Got there.
Okay, click on the login. Yep. Now we're in the process of transferring over from the old MCIS to the new one. So as a high school administrator or a staff person, this is what you'll see. And over here are all the reports. Portfolios and groups is where you would sign your students up. And if you go to other accounts, that'll sign you up as a staff member, and we could sign you up as a staff member for your school so that you can use this with your students. And then you could also upload your students to this. It's important that they have a portfolio. If you go to CIS 360 up on the black bar, there's 2 gray things. Yes, that go to that one. This is the new 360. Now, if you see MCIS 360, they work back and forth with each other. Can you kind of like expand it?
I'll try.
Okay, there, just a little bit more. Now, a student taking anything with this MCIS, it'll go into their dashboard or their portfolio. I want you to click on career plan. Up on the red bar, yep.
On the red bar, okay.
Yes. Now, can you click on that arrow by the 6th grade where it says that down arrow right in red, 6th grade, and then there's, I think they call, I don't know the name of it, but it's an arrow on the red by 6th grade.
Oh, here, okay, clear on the
Yep,
left.
if you click on that, yep. Okay, so we have every single grade here, and then we have activities for each grade. So like if you go to the 6th grade.
Oh, I hit the career plan. Hold on.
Yeah, that's right. No, yeah, you're right. Go ahead and click on
career
that
plan?
arrow again.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I want to show them how this works. So there's worksheets. Whoops, you got it. Yeah. Okay. There's some worksheets on the bottom. Being dependable. How do I make decisions? There, for example, I just want to show you the assessments that they have here. There's different assessments, but things I like to do is an activity sheet. Learning styles. Okay, so I took the learning styles, and then after you take the assessment, you have a reflection sheet. Go ahead and click on the learning style reflection sheet.
Okay, and I hate to say this, but this is going to have to be probably one of the last things we do because of our timing.
Okay.
But I think what all of you can see is there's self-assessment, interest surveys. You can build a portfolio. There's all kinds of lesson plans and activities that you can use in your classroom.
Yep. Okay, can you go to my that's the activity sheet. Can you go to my dashboard? And can you click under the blue self-survey? Right by favorite, self-surveys, yep.
Yep.
Okay, so everything's in pictures, you know, they took an entrepreneur test, a reality check, but let's click on the learning style where it says blue and learning styles. and then it'll give the students helpful, keep on that arrow, study tips for audio learners, right there.
Okay.
Audio learners, yep. And then it gives them tips. So, so anyways, you can do the career plan, or you can set up your own. They can look for scholarships. They can look for any school, any training. And the other thing I want to point out to you guys that's happening now, there's this thing called, you can, I'll give me a call. I'll give you an email. You can look at the webinars. I'll give you one-on-one training if you like. There's scholarships for culinary, you know, and it also has culinary schools. So all your careers, you can look into that. And I will definitely help anybody that wants to. There's a new thing that came out in February. Giaforte got $6 million, and they're doing this thing called rapid training, and it's Accelerated Montana. It's on there. It's on our website. It's under education. And then you'll see Accelerated Montana. You should educate yourself on that because they're really pushing that. You know, if students don't want to go to college, if they want to get them into the workforce fast, you should take a look at what's happening. There's a lot of stuff happening. I will keep Gal informed. That's going to affect you guys. I think you're one of the strongest component in career education, and we need to be able to share that with the Department of Labor. And we also need to share your expertise with other teachers because what you guys do is outstanding. We're here to help. Your voice, you know, you need to let us know what's going on. And all I can say is you should be so thankful you have Gal. She's amazing. And Gal with that textile, my daughter is been doing stuff with textile for her industrial design. And John Porterfield is mixing wool with hemp. So that's another connection we got to get you with. Yeah,
Very
yeah,
cool.
I got it. I am so, you are so, I just like, wow, she gets it. You get it. So I really appreciate that. I'm here to help you guys, but I am also here to learn from you. So I don't consider myself the experts. I consider myself constantly learning. So your feedback, I will help you with the MCIS, get on it. And so you can help your students and use it for your classes. Thank you.
I'm so excited. Thank you so much, Mary Ellen, for being with us. I know we just scratched the surface, but can you guys see how cool this website is and all the resources you could just pull and use in a child development class or a parenting class when they're looking at their life plans or just whatever. There's so much there. And with the portfolio option, the personalized career plan that Mary Ellen and I worked on a committee actually goes through K through 12, all of the career-based education things that could be done at your school. That'll be added soon into their website. So you can download that to potentially use it at your school too. But anyway, is there any questions or anything that you all have of me today? I know we're just a few minutes over, but I'm just so grateful that Mary Ellen could be with us today. And that's my point when we have a webinar, is to try to have something new, something that I think would be very helpful for you in the classroom, preferably a live presentation like Mary Ellen did, because that adds that personal touch that I think makes it real for us as well. If there's no questions from everyone, I'll end the session today, but I do want to thank you all for being a part of this. Hopefully you find it very helpful, and October 26th is our next one. Spread the word if you find this valuable, that we can have more people be a part of the presentation today. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to wish you a great day. And again, thank you very much. Don't ever hesitate to reach out to me with questions or asks, because I'll build that into future webinars or future trainings that we have. It's exciting to be an FCS professional. It's exciting to be a Montana FCS professional. So thank you, everyone. Have a great evening. And I look forward to working with you and seeing you again.
Thank you.
Thank you. You rock.